Hi, Cherry. Thanks for agreeing to talk to me.
Hello.
Especially, I know you're really busy. You're on vacation. How's that been going for you?
It's been really fun. Every time I have to stream, he makes me go outside. So apart from that, I'm really enjoying my time here.
When you say he, I'm trying to keep up with you on Twitter, especially right before I talk to somebody. I try to get like a lot more heavily watching their
hmm
socials and their streams. Uh, am I correct in understanding that you don't have the same partner that you used to?
No, I do have the same partner.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of my husband, but I'm traveling somewhere right now and hanging out with someone else.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know that you're poly, but at
Yeah.
least that's what I read at least.
But and we are still together. I'm just
Okay.
a bag of crazy.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that's really cool. I'm I'm also polyamorous. I don't know a lot of people that
Oh,
are that
cool.
have like a voice. For a long time, I thought that Destiny was, and it turned out that he was just had an open relationship.
hmm
But I think that the word got thrown around a little bit, and I don't like I said, there's not a lot of really cool people that have any kind of attention on them that like talk about it, or it seems like when they do, they have like some really weird, fucked up views about it, and it's like very misrepresentative of people that I know
Yeah.
that are, and it kind of makes me feel really awkward and like less comfortable talking to other people about it openly.
hmm Sometimes it feels like people become poly just so they can be slutty.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
lie
know.
about being poly. They're like, well, and it's really funny too. A lot of people think that that just means you like to cheat, but then a lot of people just use the word so that they can get away with cheating. It's just like something they can fall
Yeah.
back on if they get caught. And
It's unfortunate.
it is. And I always, whenever I hear you talking about it on your stream or like talking about it on Twitter, it just makes me feel good because you haven't said anything that I was like, ooh, that seems really problematic. That makes me feel weird
Oh
if
my
somebody brought
God.
up what she said. Yeah, everything that you say seems pretty much in line with what I think is. It's not like I'm
That
the
feels
arbiter, but
really
it
good
feels
to
moral.
hear. That feels really good to hear because I think most of the time people think about me or they hear Cherry, they think about problematic.
Well, I'm just
Also, if
talking
I
about your
look
polyamory
down,
takes.
okay, well, yeah, okay, maybe other things are problematic. But if I look down, that's just because that's where my laptop is.
Yeah,
I'll
uh,
try to look up.
you have quite an interesting setup. It's like, you're like outside?
Yeah, I'm on a patio, a porch.
Okay. Looks like it kind of looks like you had like concrete walls behind you. So I was like, wait, are you like outside of like a hotel, like up against like a wall? I feel like I'm almost
I
holding you
mean, it
hostage
is
here.
it is an apartment complex, so very similar to a hotel, or it's very prison-like.
Is it just because it's small?
Because everything is like gray and slate blue. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Uh, I went to jail before, just not for having money. I just didn't pay stuff, and the lack of colors is a lot. It's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of interesting. Why do you know that? You just watch a
Why do
lot
I
of
know that?
you watch a lot of like Inside
Well,
American jail
true crime.
shows. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
a woman. I live off true crime.
Fucking based. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I have to
Whenever
reinforce all the dangers in the world, you know?
I swear to God, whenever my wife is talking to a woman that she's interested in, that's like one of the first things that like immediately in common. Like I love true crime. Like my wife will say it, and the woman she's talking to, like, oh my God, me too. It's like they were waiting for it's like this weird game of chicken. Like I don't want you to think that I'm crazy. But as soon as one of us says this, we're both going to let each other know how fucking crazy we are for people getting disfigured and
Yeah.
murdered and getting away with it. It's like, why are you guys always rooting for the killer? Like when they get caught, you're like, oh, fuck. And like slump back. Like now all the fun's over. It
Yeah.
freaks me out.
I don't want to seem like I'm rooting for the bad guy, but I will watch this 4 hour long interrogation and be like, he needs a lawyer. Stop snitching on yourself.
That's what I mean. I don't think that you want somebody to get away with murder, but when I bet if somebody's watching you watch it, you look like you're rooting for them.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, fair enough. Um, I hate how ubiquitous it is. So I obviously didn't ask you here to talk about polyamory and women's insatiable thirst for seeing other people murder people and get away with it. But
Pretty
I,
close to the topic.
I did ask you to talk to me about Mr. Girl and your interactions with him. However, I don't know if you've ever
Hmm.
seen any of the other interviews I did. I don't know if you did like a background check on me to see if I'm
I
insane or
didn't get
not.
a chance to.
That's totally fine, and I'm just really surprised at how many people said yes that didn't. So, um, I I I I try not to just like ask you a whole list of questions and make it feel like I'm a robot asking you a bunch of stuff. So I'm
Okay.
glad that you seem pretty comfortable. Also, I want to tell you before we get into the mystical stuff, I'm very intimidated by you. You're the first guest that I've had that I was intimidated beforehand, but as soon as we started talking, it wore off a lot. I think it has a chance to come back
Yeah.
for me to feel it again. Yeah, yeah, you like that? Yeah, I had some bite on it, and I regret saying it now. But
It's
I
okay. I've got a lot of top energy.
yeah, yeah, you do. And yeah, I just wanted to establish that you're the first person going into it that I was intimidated by. Although I think a couple other people I was a little more intimidated once I was in the middle of it.
Yeah, you'll probably feel comfortable talking to me. I'm not that intimidating to vibe with.
I I guess it does seem to be the case. Um, so what was the first time you and Max had an interaction? I know the first time I saw your guys' interaction, but I don't know if it happened then.
It happened in the DMs. I slid in real fast. Um, I I was doing Twitch lore at the time, and anytime there's interesting content, I'm all for it. And there's this new dude who popped up on Twitch, Mr. Girl, and he had a shit ton of YouTube videos to go through. So I'm like, hey, this is fucking lore. I'm diving in. Everybody's over here talking about like um pedophiles and shit. I'm gonna go back and see what else the fuck this guy talks about. So I watched a bunch of different things. Something about interesting questions or um, some interviews and some IRL streaming that he did that he turned into videos of BLM protests.
Mm,
And it's just a bunch of different shit. I wanted to know more about like him specifically outside the controversy. And my chat and we decided like his BLM takes are pretty good. This guy's pretty funny. His music slaps.
took
And
the words right out
so
of my mouth.
I yeah. So I DM'd him and I told him, hey, um, I think I gave him a few compliments. I really like your music. It's really good. You're a pretty good rapper. Your BLM takes, your video was like good, and I think it's pretty cool that like you get it. Um, just the fact that there are people who will literally go to a protest and not even understand what the fuck is going on at the protest. They just know BLM,
Right.
so I can go there and get like my woke brownie points. Um, and then he was like, "Hey, thanks." And I'm like, now that we got that out of the way, I think you've got this dumbass opinion about I forget what, and I just told him that he was dumbass and that I want to fight him on it.
I can see
And
that. That'd be very appealing to him.
yeah, I think most, not just him, most content creators who like to do the debatey thing, the conversation thing, all of that, it's good to go into it not fucking hating the person, being able to say at least one thing that you like about them, and then being really fucking honest what you don't like about them and what you want to fight them on. I think a lot of people will slide into like the DMs of Mr. Girl or something like that and tell him, hey, I would just really like to pick your brain and understand where you're coming from. Like, bitch, no, you don't. You got a problem with something. Just tell them what you got a problem with. And people will still have that fucking conversation with you. But that was how we first started talking.
Okay, so I just want to point out that
Mhm.
the way that it sounded in the very beginning of you explaining that was that everybody makes him sound like he's a pedophile. So I want to know what else there is. It sounds a lot like the watching the true crime shows. Like, oh, this guy beheaded 17 people. Well, I wonder what kind of music he likes. It just had
Oh, it's
very
not
much of that
even
same
just
vibe.
that.
Do you think it's the same part of the brain that got activated?
I don't know. I think the honestly, what's most I think interesting to me, especially the fact that it still somehow manages to happen, is when I see somebody like this come out and there's this huge controversy, the thing with cuties and pedophiles and whatever. To see he has so many YouTube videos, I'm just like, how long can you talk about cuties or pedophilia? Like, there's gotta be something else here. It can't all be pedophilia. People are not going to talk about pedophilia their whole fucking life. Um, but I don't know. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm gonna see how long Mr. Girl has this fucking conversation for.
I feel like if he sees this, he's gonna take it as a challenge.
He is. Just I want so much more for him. Talk about anything else. What's the word for if you fetishize teenagers? He can be the person who normalizes that word
Ephebophile.
or something.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, there's hebephile and then ephebophile. It sort of like divvies up the two sections of teenagers.
Yeah, I feel like everyone keeps having the conversation of what is a pedophile? What is a pedophile? That's not a pedophile, that's this word. But I still don't remember what that word is,
Yeah,
even
it's
though
not
you
weird
just
that I
said
know
it.
them.
Well, you're his mod, right?
I'm one of the YouTube mods. Yeah,
Yeah, I imagine you have to learn words like that.
yeah. I don't have to, but I hear
I
it
mean, it
enough.
just casually happens, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was the first time we talked, and then you guys get to see the conversation that we had on stream. But there's a
yeah.
little bit more in between there, which is the fact that he watched my stream almost nightly between the like I want to have a conversation, he says yes, and like the actual conversation. So even though he knows we're gonna have this conversation, I kind of like a lot of his content. I have a huge issue with this part. And then he starts watching me, I guess to get the vibe of like the type of person I am. And I before we had our conversation, I think he realized real fast that I talk a lot of shit and that I'm a little bit of a memer, but also a little bit of a instigator. I don't know.
I think the word that I think of when I think of you is bad bitch.
Hey, I'll take it.
Probably. I mean, if there's anybody who is on Twitch, that you'd be the one, because I don't get intimidation vibes from most people watching them interact with other people. But like, I
Mhm.
think the last one that you did with Mr. Girl, I feel like I was sinking in my seat, like I was like the criticisms were hitting me. You gotta you can
Yeah.
put a bite on just the end of one of your sentences and it hits hard. I think you're
Yeah.
good. I think you're good at that, and you know how to utilize it
Apply
well.
pressure.
Yeah. So
It's
that's
a good and a
interesting.
bad thing. Some people who are like Mr. Girl are brave enough to talk to me for that reason.
Hmm.
Um, because it's a challenge. There are a lot of people who won't talk to me because they see that and they don't either they feel like they have to know how to combat that and they don't know how or they can't match it or they too fragile to fucking talk to it. But there's a lot of people who won't fucking talk to me, i.e. Vosh.
Well, I think he doesn't talk to a lot of people for a lot of reasons, but I don't think it'd be very smart for him to talk to you.
I know that's why I'm gonna constantly mention how he won't talk to me.
You know what's funny? I cast a broad net of people to talk to for the project that I'm working on,
Mhm.
and almost everybody said yes. It's insane. Like I just got a message back from somebody who said maybe to me today,
Mhm.
and that kind of took a while. But the only person who said no was Vaush.
Oh my god.
But
He's on a fortress arc, whatever that means.
I have no idea what that means. He was remarkably polite about it. I was actually
Of
really shocked
course.
at how polite he was. I don't know. I very rarely see him being polite with anybody ever. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, at least it was a pleasant no.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Um, and I didn't necessarily want to talk to him, but I like I was kind of scared to talk to you too. But I mean, not scared enough to not reach out to you.
Damn.
Do people tell
Okay.
you that?
I
Do
gotta work.
people tell you that they're scared to talk to you, or do you
No.
just ascertain that from their behavior?
I don't um I don't gather that I'm scary to talk to. I just imagine the people who don't want to talk to me just don't like me.
Oh,
Or maybe I'm too ratchet for them. I don't think it's scary because I'm generally not scary. I have like a chat. If anybody's ever like watched my stream, I have um a chat of chatters who just like make fun of me. Tell me I'm bad at Elden Ring, I'm bad at League of Legends. Um yeah, no one is I'm not above criticism ever. Everybody gets to shit on me. But then I get to shit on them back.
That's true. I mean, and to be fair, when it comes to like League and Elden Ring, did you ever consider just getting good? I'm
Uh
just fucking with
I
you. I'm just fucking
I
with you.
I consider it all the time.
Oh, well, thank you. Uh, Hypnotic Flame. Um, so I actually never seen you play Elden Ring. Now I'm gonna watch you play Elden Ring and make fun of you on your
Oof.
YouTube. Do you YouTube?
I'm playing a fucking astrologer, so it's not even like good gameplay to watch.
That's funny. That's the class that my wife picked, and she's
Yeah,
gotten pretty far with it. Yeah, and
it's
I
fun.
make fun of her for picking astrologer. So
Yeah, everybody makes fun of me for that.
lightheartedly. Um, do you have a YouTube too? Because now I want to see you play Elden Ring. I
I do
just
have a YouTube, but I haven't started streaming on my YouTube yet.
okay. I just mostly went through VODs on Twitch, so I'm just gonna mark that
Yeah,
down.
Twitch is all I have for VOD library right now. All of my YouTube shit is down, and I think I have to like make another YouTube channel or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's why I didn't find you then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, so in between the so since the first time, do you kind of want to give me past the first time that you guys interacted, just sort of like the broad like story of your guys' interactions?
Um, well, I mean, the broad story, generally speaking, every person I've ever like had a conversation with on Twitch, I try to like hold a friendship with them. I'm not the best at holding friendships or like any type of relationship really, but I find people who are a little like dark and twisty to be like a lot easier to be friends with. And I find Max to be dark and twisty. And we have a shared friend in Stardust and in Destiny. So it's been really easy to like hold that friendship for me. And I think I just like message him sometimes. We talk about playing Halo, but like high key, I do not want to play Halo. So I'm waiting for that motherfucker to like play a game that I don't know everybody else really plays.
Plays a lot of
Um,
Smash.
yeah, I don't play Smash. So when people want to play Smash with someone who doesn't play Smash, I feel like they just want to win.
Yeah, that
And I'm
I
very
don't like
competitive.
Smash.
So
Well, I like Smash to play to just like chill out, and it's like it's the party game of fighting games. People get upset with me when I say that, like big time.
mhm.
They're like, the mechanics are so good. Yeah. It's you're supposed to throw pokeballs and hit each other with baseball bats and throw fireballs at each other. It's supposed to be a fun game. We're not supposed to be sweating. It's not Mortal Kombat or Tekken. So I get
Yeah,
that. Like
we'll
especially like
find something eventually.
yeah, that'd be interesting to see you guys play video games. I want to see you guys verse each other. I want to hear the vitriol.
But
The video
mhm.
game hate that only comes out when you're losing.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean, if
that.
you ask his chat and like his viewers, like there's something fucking wrong with me because I won't play Halo or whatever other dead game that he plays all the time. I
Last
think
of
like
Us.
Half-Life, Last
Last
of
of Us
Us,
2.
whatever.
Or sorry, Last of Us the multiplayer only. Yeah.
Some game he's trying to resurrect all in his fuck own. Um, but apart from that, like we don't really exchange messages often when he's going through something. I might reach out, see if he needs help or whatever. Like the YouTube ban, I try to help people when it looks like they're in like shit situations.
Hmm.
But apart from that, for me, having like a friendship or anything like that with people on this platform or any platform, it's generally just like how I review their content or how I review their drama, their situation type of thing. So I might never even say anything to him, but if he sees a tweet that I tweet or if he sees a VOD of something that I do, like that's basically how I communicate with other content creators.
Okay. Well, you guys have had more direct interactions than just that first one too. I
Oh,
know.
yeah,
I
like
think
on
you
the
guys were on a
Twitter.
panel, right? Were you guys on a
Oh,
panel together? And then I know that you like basically sat him down and told him the issues that you had with him.
Oh yeah, that's the recent conversation.
Yeah.
We probably were on a panel together, probably a couple times, like via Stardust or something.
Yeah, I was trying to find uh that one, but I was having a little bit of trouble, so I just default to going back to your Twitch.
Hmm.
Um, I
It
really
was.
liked. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was probably an early Stardust Chaos cast.
That rings pretty true. I think that's probably the case then. That's just probably why I didn't
Hmm.
find it because I wasn't searching for Stardust. Um, I really liked I don't remember what it's called, but when you told him that he think what was it like his ego's like too big. I don't remember
Oh
how
yeah,
you worded
he's
that.
well. So he made it about ego. I think I said something about why he thinks that he's better than everybody else.
That's the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I typically think of Mr. Girl as somebody who can welcome criticism pretty well, but then like after
Mm.
so long, like he'll sit there and be like, "All right, motherfucker," and then say the things that kind of combat the things they were saying. But he
Oof.
really sat there and took what you were saying like
He
pretty
wanted
well.
to.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. He wanted to go back at me. I realized I said something that um for him give him the signal like don't argue with me or don't like be combative with me or don't start attacking me. He was asking if this is an like are we arguing or is this an interview or is this an interrogation? And I don't know why I thought he was just trying to put like labels on something. But if he asked, "Can I throw shit at you now?" I would have said yes.
I think you would have.
So,
But it was just kind of surprising that that's not really how that went down. Yeah, and then at one point he's like, "Should I be interviewing you?"
yeah, it are you surprised how that's not how it went down? I think I would consider Max and I friends, and which is why I get really pissed off when I feel like he's infantilizing me because I can absolutely take it. And just because there are several people on the internet who are needlessly cruel to me for like my mental diagnosis or whatever, it's I've never presented myself as someone who can't take like a hit. I'm really loud when it happens. Like I will try to hit you back twice.
Sure.
Um and it can come off like I need help, but I'm really just like enjoying being able to swing back. And I think he just something about it he's just decided to infantilize me. And instead of like going ham on me, I think he just feels like either I can have a conversation with her or I have to take care of her. And I'm trying to shut that shit the fuck down.
Maybe he just likes you.
Yeah, but he's vetoed. He knows this.
Well, that's not what I meant, but I was actually gonna
I know,
I
I'm
was
just
gonna bring that
kidding.
up too. Um, yeah, you've made it pretty clear through Twitter how you feel about Mr. Girl. Yeah, I was actually really interested. Like, um, the first time you sat down and talked to him, you mentioned like within the first hour that he was vetoed.
Yeah, because I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, so I was really curious when that was said. Like, did was that just like an automatic response? Like, hey, I'm gonna go stream with this guy. He's like, okay, cool, no fucking. Like, was it like
Oh,
just like that? Like, there was like an extra sense about like Mr. Girl ahead of time, or
no, no,
did
no.
you?
My husband and I, we talk about everything.
Yeah,
He knows about all these characters. Anytime something interesting happens, like I can't wait to run to him and like tell him about it. Um, and then obviously when Mr. Girl has his like consent thing go pretty viral and everyone's talking about it, it it doesn't mirror a situation that I've been in, but it's definitely a concern of mine. And so like I'm not saying that I sit here and I look through a bunch of like male streamers and I'm like, I would fuck that one, would not fuck that one. I'm not saying I sit here and objectify people, but like maybe something along the lines of, that one's like that's a red flag. I don't know what pile to put him in. Okay, maybe I do that, but still, that's
yeah,
it's kind of how the conversation came up, and we both kind of agreed, like, you know, this is generally not the type of person I want to be with, and it's not the type of risks I'm willing to take at this point in my life.
hmm. Well, that's the way you're describing it now makes it sound like you vetoed him yourself.
Yeah, it was a group decision. My husband can veto on his own, but like if I'm confident, I think that would like move him a bit.
Gotcha. So when you say veto, you think he was just like, I think that maybe that you should consider not doing anything with this person. It seems like you might
Yeah.
have some reservations. Do you think that you do? Okay, then maybe you should just
Yeah, so
consider that. Is that how that goes down?
exactly. I
Okay.
know for poly it might be different for different couples.
Yeah.
For us, it's very much it's like a conversation. Even the word veto, the ability to veto is a fucking conversation. Because I can't just be out here telling him, "Oh, veto," because she looked like Beyonce. Like we got to talk about this, okay? I need to be reasonable and like the point of being poly is to be able to enjoy other people and find things that we don't know that we want, you know?
Yeah, not limiting the
Hmm.
number or the kind of connections that you can have with other people. I really like
Exactly.
the Beyonce thing. Like, nope, you'd leave me for that ass. Nope, 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 not happening. She
Yeah.
got that Beyonce booty. You stand by me tonight. I don't care. Let that bitch leave. I don't care. Don't even look. No. Yeah. When I guess I kind of recoil a little bit when I hear veto because I don't think that I have like the only hard like full stop rules is like nobody's close friends because it can like warp
Hmm.
dynamics that are already in place and make them unnecessarily complicated. You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
Like you can't fuck my best friend. Like that's not cool. Like
Absolutely.
like I don't want things to be weird between me and him. Like existing relationships shouldn't suffer in that kind of way or be at
And
risk.
I should also say, like what I said before, how Mr. Girl would like hang out in my stream sometimes before we had that first conversation. Um, he was aware that about the veto. I discussed it with my stream much more honestly. I'd say in the conversation with Mr. Girl, it's a lot more provocative the way I say it, like
Yeah.
you're vetoed. But we both knew that that was already like the case. It's a little fun to play up the dramatics, you know?
Yeah, I can understand that. I think what's the word that a number of my partners have used for me? I'm very extra when I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like I
I'm
can be.
extra.
Yeah.
I
Or one of
think
my
that's
exes
funny
say
that you're extra.
I get told that a lot. Or one of my exes would just like put her hand in my face like you're too much and like turn away from me because I can be pretty extra. I try to
Mhm.
I try to tone it down when I'm doing the interviews and stuff, but I'm a pretty unnecessarily ridiculous person.
I feel like I'm a little bit of the opposite sometimes. Like in person, it takes a lot to maybe get this much sass out of me or not this much, like two times this much sass. It takes a little bit much in person. But when I'm streaming, I just feel really comfortable to be a lot more extra than I normally would be.
Yeah, I think that I would be a lot more extra when I'm streaming if it wasn't with with the kind of purpose that I have in mind for this.
Hmm.
Want to make sure that I'm getting like, giving you the correct kind of questions to express what would be important to express about Mr. Girl for the project that I'm doing. And as I move on, I plan on covering other topics, polyamory being one of
Okay.
them. And I think that I'll probably be a little bit more free with my chaotic energy during those times.
Okay.
Um, so when you said that you like how you initially heard about him and you started going through his videos and then approached him, it sounded a lot like you were coming to him as how like most fans would DM Mr. Grib, like, "Hey, I really like your stuff, but also, what the fuck, dude?" I think that's how a lot of
Yeah.
fans would do it. So it sounds like you were coming there as a fan. Did you feel like you were messaging him as a fan at that point?
No,
Oh,
I feel like that's just how like obnoxious that I like to be like as a person. If it resembles fan behavior, I'll accept that.
oh, I guess maybe I framed it weird. Did you message him because you were like a fan of his work at that point, but then also still wanted to say like, hey, what the fuck about this? Like, were you a fan of
N-
the videos that you saw? That's why like it was worth pointing out that you didn't like some of the stuff.
No, well, okay, so yes, I would say fan because I wanted to be friends with him.
Okay,
Like, I want to point out, like, hey, I thought this was pretty cool. I think this is pretty cool, which is generally me co-signing that I think you're cool kind of thing.
right.
but in a way that's more palatable because I think it's a little fucking weird if you're just like, hey, I like you, be my friend. I think that would turn a lot of people off.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Uh, what would be some of your favorite videos of his? Like, what do you, and like why?
Oh my god, the two songs about I'm a pedophile and I kill pedophiles.
Both bangers, yeah.
Yeah, and just having both of them, like what the fuck? Okay. There's one where he just washes his hands very sexually, and I still don't understand, but like, okay, I'm here for it. Um, Again, I thought he was like pretty on point with the BLM stuff. Uh, I don't know how I feel about a lot of the consent weird behavior that I like disagree with him for, but I do like that when he puts out his video that like his point of view is like out there
Hmm.
and it's not like I have to go digging to find like the truth. He's pretty willing to like fucking say the terrible thing. Um there's only sometimes where like after he says it, he wants to like pretend that he didn't say it and then I got like press him a bit.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, I think what happens a lot of times, and I think I just had this recently with him too, is he says I think or I feel, and a lot of people will hear him making that as a statement of fact. Like I talk like that all the time, and when people try to pin me down on the thing that I thought said I think or feel about, they'll they'll interpret that as me making like a matter of fact statement,
You
and
know what I
it's
think?
jarring. What's that?
I think sometimes motherfuckers will say I think or I feel and then say exactly like what they know and what they believe. Like the I feel thing is just to like protect them. So they can say, "Oh, well that was just like my feelings." I don't know. I haven't really thought through it. And for someone like Mr. Girl who like literally thinks through everything, maybe an overthinker, I just don't buy it. I don't know. You're lying, as he likes to say.
So I think that the reason I do that is because
Uh-huh.
I've had a lot of trouble throughout my life communicating what's in my head to other people and them hearing what I'm saying
Mhm.
correctly. And that's been the advice that I've gotten from my therapist throughout my life. That's how therapists tell you to talk to people.
Yeah,
You
but
say you should
they
use I think
tell
and I
you
feel
that.
statements.
They tell you that, so it's almost to help you reprogram the way that you are communicating to almost reprogram you. So you aren't so dead set in the way that you think and that you feel because they are generally temporary. And most people they
Yeah.
grow to change their mind. And so it's a form of like manipulating you into being better. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, when I
Um
say it, I'm always I when I say like I think or I feel something, basically what I'm saying is that this is where I'm at, but I'm very open to hearing something that might change my mind. So like
yes,
I'm
but it's
not
very
rooted in the ground.
yes, but sometimes people need to hear that specifically because they won't acknowledge that, okay, well, yeah, I'm willing to change like how I feel about it then. Or they're not willing to accept that like they have looked at everything and this is where they're at, but like with more information, maybe they'll change. They'll pretend like they never looked at anything type shit. Like,
I
oh, I just
gotcha.
threw a dart in the dark and this is where I'm feeling. Like, no, come on. You got there for some reason. Like you thought this a little bit through. And sometimes they make it seem like they just pulled it out of a fucking hat.
So you're saying that it feels like when somebody like myself or somebody like Mr. Grill says that I think I feel statement, what they're doing is they're using the truth to mask uh what they really want to say.
The truth, I think they're using the phrase to mask their certainty. Because if you know that someone has their feet dug in the ground, you you can prepare yourself for a much harder conversation, a much more stubborn conversation. But if you think this person is really open and free and like ready to have their mind changed or looking for more information, it will generally be a more lighthearted conversation, easier to have between two people.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's just how uh, people people here I think and I feel differently than it's said. Yeah, I think you're right.
Mhm.
Maybe just adding adding what the I think and I feel means to the context of the conversation might help other people hear
Mhm.
it a little bit better. That's
Or
that's
prepare
not a
them better to have like a combo with you moving forward.
that's not a bad take, Cherry. I feel like when
Hey,
I say
thanks.
that, uh, people know that that's built into how I talk when that's not necessarily the
Mhm.
case.
No,
Now
you're
I just
fine. I'm all for surprising people.
yeah, I'm gonna that one I'm taking a note on for myself. That's pretty good, insightful. Um, so do you think you made any progress towards understanding why he? I don't know if I'm gonna frame this correctly. So when you came to tell him that you think that he thinks that he's better than everybody else, do you think you got a better understanding of why whatever's happening is happening? And did you change your mind about how
Oh.
you feel about that?
No, I wasn't trying to change my mind or me personally get a better understanding. I feel like I know Mr. Girl better than he knows himself. And I just kind of wanted to give him some food for thought that's maybe from a place he has a bit more, I would say, respect for um than just random like Twitter critics, you know?
Yeah, I do think he responds at least in a way that would signify that he respects how you think of him.
Yeah, but I did forget one thing that I really meant to press him on, which is his inability to summarize his points. It's a big frustration I have watching him and watching even Destiny tried to moderate a conversation between him and another person where he's like, okay, say your point, but get it out in fucking 30 seconds. And he's like, okay, well, fuck you because I need like fucking 5 minutes, which turns into 10 minutes. And I get very frustrated. Well, not really frustrated. It's funny to me because but it's like annoying. It's like watching reruns. Um, it's just seeing Destiny and him do this like fucking dance where Destiny's asking him to make it short and he's like, "Well, I need all of this time." And it's just like, "Can you guys see what the fuck you're doing?" And for me, what I see, and I hope other people see it, is I see Max is he doesn't just say what he thinks. He like gives the entire fucking PowerPoint presentation every fucking time and then he cites his sources and it comes off to me like someone who's never been believed their whole life. Someone who feels like I can't just say my fucking opinion. Everybody brushes that shit off. I have to tell you um everything that led up to that opinion, all of the ways in which someone can shut down that opinion, all the ways in which I've thought it through and I've defended myself and I've gained my confidence. And so please just let me fucking talk for 15 minutes because I can have the whole conversation myself and I know exactly how you're going to doubt me and I can do this. Just give me the time. I don't even need either of you here for this. But that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just give your statement. You're supposed to let the other person give their critique and then respond to that. But he does the whole thing right in the start and it reeks to me of somebody who's just dying for someone to believe them and to
I
take them seriously.
I have never felt so attacked in my entire life.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
A lot of we, even myself included, we have this problem. Makes conversations very difficult.
yeah. It's kind of the when you say something that's really important to you, you want to let the other
Mhm.
person know what you think that they're going to say after you say it, so that way if it's that way you're kind of ahead of it and maybe they'll stop thinking about what they're saying and just listen to you instead. But instead they just get
Yeah.
mad that you're telling them how you think or feel and they're not hearing anything you say because of that.
hmm And the only frustrating part, I don't mind when Max does this with other people that he's having a conversation with. I don't mind. You don't know those people. They might be cutting you off. They might be bad faith. He might feel something that I don't feel in that moment or whatever. But him and Destiny are fucking friends. You can trust him to moderate a conversation. Why don't you give up control just this one fucking time? And he still won't do it.
Yeah, I think that uh,
But
he's kind of went
it's
over it a
still
couple
fun.
times that he is overtly controlling about things, that it's okay because he is transparent about the fact that he's being controlling.
Yeah. I mean, it's still fun to watch the two of them like have conversations and to watch
Oh yeah.
one of them try to moderate because for some reason sometimes Mr. Girl's a moderator. That's always fun. But yeah, I love it even if it doesn't feel like easy flowing. It's still a great watch.
Yeah, I think sometimes I like watching Mr. Girl talk even more when it ends up being a shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to watch people just sort of flail around for a little bit.
Hmm.
Uh, what how do I want to word that? What do you think your uh favorite interaction is between him and not even just yourself? Like you talk about him and Destiny a lot. Do you like those interactions the most?
I'm a big fan of both of their content.
So when they come together, it's just like a crossover of two of your
Yeah.
favorite shows?
Hmm.
Yeah, I
It's
get that.
it's a nice crossover. Sometimes it feels like a rerun, but whatever. I enjoy the reruns. Um, but if we're talking about my favorite interaction of him with like another person
Or yourself. Yeah.
or myself, well, I kind of love when he told me to fucking quit streaming, and go be a fucking chatterbait masturbator or whatever that is. That that cracked me the fuck up.
Yeah, I
He
think most people
he
would have
has
taken
been
that poorly.
well, most but yeah. I'm not sensitive about shit like that. But he has been telling me to quit streaming for like months because he thinks it's bad for my mental health. And, you know, I don't know. A lot of people think I'm a lot more fragile than I am because I'm very honest when I'm like not in the mood or when I can't do it. I need to take a step. Fuck you. I don't know. I'm very open about all of that shit. So I guess you see my mood swings and stuff like that, and you think, she can't fucking handle streaming, or at least that's how he takes it. And so I guess our last conversation, you took that opportunity to say, I didn't mean to like stop streaming. I mean, just like not on Twitch. You should still do it on like Chatterbait.
Yeah.
Fucking Coomers.
I think that the way that you behave on stream makes me think that you're tougher rather than more sensitive. I think that a lot of times people don't express their really loud emotions because they're afraid to. And that's what
Mhm.
makes you intimidating to me, is that if I asked you the wrong question, I'm kind of afraid that you might have like a bigger outburst at me than I'm ready for and really catch me off guard.
Yeah, I'm pretty honest to a fault.
Yeah, and you're hard to predict,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite things that I've. So if I'm outside just watching, I really like it when people are hard to predict, but when it's in a setting that I'm involved in, I prefer a little bit more predictability.
Hmm.
What's your strongest opinion of Max? Like nobody could sway you on
Strongest
this.
opinion.
Yeah, like that. Like what's something that you know that you know, and even if he came to you, looked you right in the eyes, and told you were wrong, you'd just be like, "No, I'm right."
I mean, the thing about why it takes him a long time to, the why he can't just summarize his point. I feel like whether, because I don't think he's talked about like his own issues, like apart from the like familial stuff.
Hmm.
I generally think that he's dying to be believed on the internet or something. I think it hurts a lot of his conversations. And even if he were to tell me, nope, this is how I want to have conversations and I think it's more entertaining this way, I don't think so. I don't buy it.
Fair enough. This is something I ask almost everybody, and I'm surprised at how many different answers I get. What do you think is the thing that people misunderstand the most about uh, Max? Because I think you have a better insight than most people. I always think that people have a good reason to have the kind of insights they do. You seem to have like a laser focused insight on a lot of things because he doesn't argue with you as much when you tell him a fact about himself.
I think maybe the one thing that most people don't pick up is that he is a fucking softie. Oh my God. What a fucking soy bitch. He is. I think most people don't see that. I love that about him though. I know I said that in a pretty rude way, but soy. Absolutely.
Yeah,
As harsh as he tries to come off with a lot of people he argues about with or whatever, with Shaylin, whatever, he is so fucking soy.
I think I put a super chat in one of his streams the other day, and part of it was says I know that you're really sensitive.
Mhm.
Yeah, because of the subject that I brought up. I was saying like, hey, I hope you're doing okay. I know you're sensitive, and this thing happened. So I guess I I, I I'm not saying that you're wrong that other people don't pick up on that, but I guess maybe it bums me out if they don't, because I think
Oh,
I
well, I think being sensitive is a little different than like him being like a soy bitch. Um, Being sensitive is sort of like caring about yourself and your own feelings. I think he cares way too much about other people.
okay,
Like he
yeah,
has no reason to infantilize me and care about me as much as he has, which makes is what really gives me like the soy vibes. But I think that's really wholesome and like cute of him.
yeah. I don't think I disagree. I don't think that I would say it in those words, but I don't think that I disagree with you. But I'm not upset that you said it in those words either, because that was pretty good. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think that with his platform and the kind of videos that he makes that he's doing something good? Like, do you think he's creating good in the world with the things that he does?
Yeah, I think him just existing is good. I think people who will go under a microscope and they're like, what's actually really good about having this conversation? Can you show me where there's going to be a net good in society? Like, fuck you. Okay. We accept that people are different. And in order to celebrate people's differences, you kind of have to let everybody have a conversation, have a point of view, tell their story, share their troubles, share their struggles. And all of these people who pretend to be so fucking inclusive are like really fucking quick to want to shut a bitch up. I don't know. So yeah, I think he's a good.
Yeah. Do you think that his content helps people?
Absolutely. I've seen people that feel really helped by it.
Yeah, myself included. And for the first time in a long time, hung out in the Discord, and I did a little bit of video chatting with the other people in the Discord, and I see it a lot. It's really impressive how much people talk about the harm of platforming him, or like how dangerous the things that he says are. Very rarely do I hear anybody say how much utility people might get from hearing the things that he says. Somebody in my chat too just said, myself included. It's
Mhm.
it that probably makes me more sad than anything else involving his content, is that it's always focused on harm rather than the good that's happening off camera.
Yeah, but that's the interesting thing about being a content creator is that you'll generally get a lot of following from people seeing you go through like a struggle, seeing you go through adversity. Um, like seeing you be brutally honest, seeing you cry with the snot coming down, like you're not fucking James Charles and you just like fucking cleaned your face and are lightly fucking tearing. Like no, people don't feel anything from that. Um, it hurts to watch, but you hope that they persist and that they continue because you'll have fans for life, you know?
Yeah, that's I think that he has an extremely strong fan base, which
I think he deserves it too.
I do too. It kind of leads me to my next question. It's another one that I kind of want to to hear what everybody thought about it. Why do you think that, despite all the things that people say about him, uh, like with a pretty high frequency, he's not really cancelable? And when I talked to Wicked Supreme about it, he said, "Well, he was cancelable. He got canceled off Twitch." I think
Yeah.
that's not what I mean, right? Like he could get taken off of YouTube and his fan base is gonna follow him. Like his place on the internet and his voice, his ability to get his voice out there, and I think probably by now too, his ability to make this his primary income is not something that can be taken away from him.
So there you are wrong. Homicide with Supreme for this one. Uh, he is absolutely cancelable. At in the current day, today, everyone is cancelable. Okay. I with few exceptions, I consider like Destiny someone who is above canceling. That is because he actually has like his own website, his own structured system to monetize himself apart from these platforms, even though he would have like a pay cut if that were to happen, like a severe pay cut.
Sure.
But Max, if he is off Twitch, if he is off YouTube, his discoverability goes down to like 1%. Okay. Um, he does not have a place to advertise himself anymore off these two platforms. He will not have I don't think he has the structure to have a website right now. Does he have a website?
Yeah, he has two websites. I think he's like in
Like
in
to
the process of
stream from
mitigating.
or
I don't know if it's set up for that, but I feel
well,
like there's
hopefully
an
soon.
awareness that there should be a backup plan.
Mhm. But here's the thing. So you will always have like he will have his core audience, right? From his Discord and from and like to his website if that were to happen. But he will have a hard time building a new audience, getting new views, getting new people to see him off of these two platforms. And you can see this through Destiny right now. He's off of Twitch, but he's still on YouTube. But you'll see his numbers continue to grow because he has YouTube discoverability. Um, and he generally does something that is more successful on YouTube, which is the politics. But you will see on his website, he still holds the same 1 to 2,000 users that will go to his website. It's not like if he were to just stream at his website, he would not get more people coming onto there. He would just get the reoccurring people. Or maybe slowly people have heard him that maybe they hear news about him and other creators talk about him word of mouth. Maybe they go over to see like what's happening. But he won't have anywhere to put up his highlights, his videos, his streams. Um, Again, there is maybe Twitter and TikTok, but you're really sizing it down. You're sizing down your reach and you're sizing down the trajectory that you've already worked so hard to get rolling, you know?
Yeah. Then okay, I guess that's fair. In that case, let me reframe what I'm asking a little bit and say, why
Mhm.
why do you think it is that whereas other people would have already been totally canceled for half the shit that he said? Like if almost any other person would have said, I think we need to have empathy for pedophiles, like you have a brick thrown through your car window the next day when you're driving to the grocery store, and Twitter is only talking about how you need to be fired from your job and have your life ruined immediately, and that doesn't seem to happen with them. Like there's and
Um,
that's just that, like the Real Doll review, that would have destroyed people's lives beyond their job. Like that's like death threats and constant harassment shit. And
okay,
so, and
I'll put it
somehow
this
he
way.
comes up like at least having a leg to stand on when he defends himself.
I'll put it this way. First of all, he's a good person. Ignore the controversy, ignore the fuck ups in life, the start to life. We have our fucking demons. Despite it all, he's a good person and he's a hardworking person, interesting fucking person, a talented fucking person, and he's got some really good friends. That's it. I think all of those combined is why Max is still where he is and why I think he should go really far.
Yeah, I that's a pretty unique answer to that question, and I think that
What did other
that
people
sounds
say?
um I think some people said it's because his fans are so dedicated. Uh I had like Supreme said I just don't think that he is, and I didn't really try to reframe it. So that
Mm.
I kind of learned from that. Um
Well, look,
I think one of the
some
other
of his,
answers was just how honest he is. Because I
mm,
think when
there's a
sometimes when
lot of
somebody, yeah, I think a lot of people are honest, but when they're in hot water and they're like trying to cover their ass, I think that it's a lot harder to believe the things that they're saying. But when half the time you're on stream and you're really upset, you can see the tears held back in your eyes. And if you are dealing with criticism and you have that same kind of look, it's a lot easier to draw a parallel to a time where nobody doubted what you were saying. And whereas a lot of people
I
don't have that kind of rawness on day to day.
I think him being honest, I don't think that's why he is has not been canceled. I think that's why he is good for what he's doing. I don't think you can do what he's doing if you are not honest and if you aren't like, I don't know, blunt, just completely open. If it seems like he has accepted that he's going to have a very public life and that he is going to very open and honestly talk about very difficult things, that he's not just like talking about them because they mean nothing to him, you know? Because
Mm.
anyone can be contrarian, but if it feels like you might have a stake in the game, it's a lot more interesting. It's a lot more honest. It's a lot it doesn't feel like a fake reality show, you know?
Yeah. Somebody told me it was because when he got his fans, he sort of already had these positions staked out in his previous videos before he blew up. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm actually really surprised. I think you've given me like very different answers than other people have that don't seem to ring any less true to me. I'm really glad that you said yes to
Nice.
talking to me.
Me too.
And still feeling very comfortable and not intimidated.
Good.
That's not a challenge. That's not a challenge.
It's probably because I'm not making eye contact because I have to look at my fucking laptop down here. But we're okay.
That's fair. Um, do you think that the amount of I feel like you're just automatically going to say no. What do you think that is the most valid criticism of him that happens a lot?
The most valid.
Yeah,
Um,
because you're so nice and charitable to him.
Projection.
I got to hear that. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That is
He
a very
projects.
popular one.
Hmm.
Uh, do you think he knows he's projecting and just chooses to ignore it, or does he
No, I
genuinely
don't
think he's
think.
not?
I think he genuinely does not think or does not see that he's projecting.
Hmm.
We as people have a way of even manipulating ourselves to feel better than we maybe should. Um, Self-preservation, and I think he does that sometimes. But I don't blame him. It fucking sucks being under so many microscopes and people just wanting to nitpick at you and everybody just wants to dunk on you and wants to tell you're a piece of shit. Um, it can make you put your back against the wall and be like, no, you kind of thing. And I'm not saying he always does it, but sometimes he slips up and he does it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think projecting to some degree is inevitable for everybody.
Hmm.
That's kind of like the purpose it serves, right? If you knew about it, it wouldn't be we wouldn't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. I think a lot of people bring it to his attention too. So the one thing that it makes me think about is that Mr. Girls typically seem to be a very introspective person. But it seems like, and a lot of people recognize his like high level of introspection, but a lot of people seem to say like you are very aware of yourself except for when you're projecting. And
Oh,
it
well, that's I'm sorry. That's also like a really unique thing when it comes to um streaming because you have to touch like such a wide array of topics, right?
Hmm.
People aren't You're not just talking about one thing every day and the discourse isn't just one fucking thing every day. So where you feel really comfortable that like, hey, in this area I'm such an empath, I can fucking sense these feelings, these emotions from people. Um I've really like thought about this issue. Like I've seen it from all sides. I can understand all sides. And like where you have that in certain areas, you don't have that everywhere. So it kind of sucks when you get that confidence in even just more than one place. Like you have that confidence, you've been able to apply it in multiple topics, multiple situations, multiple dramas, and um you want your acknowledgement. Bitch, I'm an empath. I am introspective. Okay. But then it fucking sucks when you get hit with a new topic and guess what? You ain't work on it for that one. You not introspective right now. Um and it really sucks because you kind of have to defend yourself. Like, no, I have been this whole time. But really what you got to do is be like, okay, you know what? In this one I need some more time. It took me time for the other ones and I need time for this one too.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. Uh, it just sort of creates a blind spot. Like when
Mhm.
you're right a lot, it's hard to see that you're it's really hard to see when you're not. So do you actually think he's as empathetic as he thinks he is?
I think in certain situations, yeah.
Do you
People
think
who
it,
have lived through certain traumas or have gone through certain dilemmas and certain interpersonal issues, they can like they don't have to feel everything that's like around that issue to be able to relate to it. So I do think in some degree he is an empath and or that he can strongly empathize with people in situations that he might not have been in himself. But I wouldn't say like oh every problem ever like Max can put himself in its shoes and really like and feel that pain. Like no.
do you think it's a mistake for him to broadcast how empathetic he is in all those conversations? Sometimes I
Mm,
wonder if you when you tell somebody you're empathetic, it's going to make it inherent that it's going to make them inherently more guarded and make you less capable of being
I
empathetic to
actually
them. And I
I
don't
actually
know.
don't think it's bad. I don't
Okay.
think it's bad. I think it's good. I think people should just accept and acknowledge that nobody can be an empath like for every fucking thing, okay? That's like saying that astrology is fucking real. Like no, the your fucking fate is not written in the stars, okay? There's not like one script for all type shit. I Maybe he should really dive in deeper in what it means to be empathetic to him. Maybe
Hmm.
explore the fact that you can't be empathetic in every situation and it's something that you have to exercise. And while you did a lot of that early in your life, you're not done type of thing. I think that's something I would vibe with hearing something like that.
Okay.
Maybe he
Yeah.
can redefine empath.
Yeah, I think that I, I at least for me, when I hear somebody say they're very empathetic, it makes me typically like assuming I believe them, and I don't have any reason not to. I tend to like them a little bit more. When somebody says they're an empath, I think, oh, this person's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, I think I get like crystal girl vibes, tell me your horoscope type shit.
Yeah, from the
I'm like,
word
oh,
empath.
you're an empath? Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Um, very much so. I feel like they're about to tell me that like they read tarot cards and shit too. And also,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. Astrology is bullshit, and it's one of the cringiest things that you can bring up to somebody.
It's okay for fun though. For funsies, it's okay.
Sh-
There
Sure.
are a lot of listen, I don't want to piss off a lot of people that like live in this world, right? We all find the thing that makes us feel happy and that makes us feel connected, whatever. Do you, but just know that you're not special. And that is just a fucking stone, okay?
Yeah, I do think that it's okay to be cringy sometimes. I just think
Yeah.
astrology is particularly cringy to me.
It is, but they got some of the hottest girls, so you should chill.
I I ruined something with somebody because I guess I went a little too hard making fun of her about astrology when she asked me what my sign was.
Oof.
She said I was just fucking with her. She called me
Mhm.
sanctimonious. And
Oh
at that
God.
point I was pretty heated and I said, "Is there anything in the world more sanctimonious than calling somebody else sanctimonious?" And that just being a one-time thing. I never talked to her
You
again.
you did not have your desperate for pussy voice on. Common mistake.
I think I have a hard time not speaking my mind. I can take a lot of I can take a lot of dumb stuff, but at a certain point my brain just kind of breaks and everything that I think just sort of comes out.
Mhm.
Um, do you think that the content's gotten better or worse since being banned from Twitch? Or
Um,
do you still watch?
yeah, I still watch. That's my friend. Don't check me like that, okay? Chill. I'm just gonna say yes. I think he's had a lot of fucking interviews, and I fucking said, and I'm going to take some credit, obviously not all the credit. Max is responsible for his success, okay? But I said Max is interesting. He is just a fucking interesting person, and he's the type of person who can go out and pick who he wants to talk to, pick who he wants to interview, and people will go because they're like, if Max thinks there's something there, I want to watch. Whereas, like, you see other people who want to start up their fucking Twitch stream or start up their YouTube stream being an interviewer. And the only way they get fucking views is if they're interviewing someone who, like, the fans want to come watch them talk again. I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody like grab Vosh and grab Destiny for a fucking interview, and then these people's streams are like dead, and they're supposed to be interview streamers, and like, where the fuck are you?
Are, are you like underhandedly throwing shade all the fuck over me right now?
No, not you, but I
Okay.
am throwing shade. I'm always throwing shade. That's at somebody, but it's not you. Don't
I was,
worry.
it's like all I've done in the last 3 weeks is interview people with significantly
Oh,
larger audiences than me.
no, don't worry. You have to do that to get it started. But no, that
Well,
wasn't at you. I'm so sorry.
I didn't know if maybe you were just fucking. I don't know. I don't know.
I wasn't
Um,
fucking with you. That wasn't some like power move. Don't worry.
I'm gonna have to ask my buddy if he believes you on that or not. It doesn't matter what he thinks. He's just gonna say yeah. You're a lot funnier than I thought you were gonna be interacting with.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, you have a really good fun energy.
Thank
Just
you.
yeah, you're very welcome.
The interview is pleasant. I'm enjoying it too.
Thank you. You know, it's funny that you said don't check me like that, but you said he's my friend. Of course I watch. When I ask a lot of other people who are really friendly with him, or even said, yeah, I consider him a friend, they usually say that they don't have time to watch his stuff. So that's really cool. I think that
Well,
I
I'm a little bit unique because I don't have a day job. And also I need TV. I need noise to go to sleep. So
Mhm.
I'm fortunately in more of a position to be able to watch like all of the people that I like, even if they're fucking banned on platforms that I stream on.
um there's a lot of well, I think less so now. It used to get brought up a lot early in his streaming about parasociality. And Mr. Girl's the first person I've ever heard actually talk about it. And so when
Mhm.
you said you need like TV in your life, I think that I've never really thought of or considered parasocial relationships that people have with streamers until he addressed it. Because I think like I watched Destiny like religiously for 4 years, and the only time that
Mhm.
like I said anything that would have sounded parasocial was like, "Oh, I had no idea he got married. That's crazy," and that makes it sound like I'm talking about somebody that I know. But I feel
Yeah,
like
like how dare they got married and didn't tell me? What?
I think it might sound like that, but I feel like I would almost say the exact same thing if I uh if I found out like a fact about like an anime that I watched and I didn't know about it, I'd be like, wait, what do you mean that
Yeah.
character died? Like, how did I not know that? It doesn't seem any different to me than when I watch TV, but then I see people who really are really deep in the throes of it. And that's kind of freaky. And I wonder what I wonder what the implications of like that level of parasociality are when you have streamers that are, I, for lack of a better way to put it, a little more human, like Mr. Girl is. Because like when you have streamers like say like Destiny or Vouch or Stardust or like yourself, a lot of the stuff has to do with like what's going on with Twitch. It's like really Twitch oriented, you know, or like politics oriented. It's a little detached from our everyday lives. Not to say that like
Mhm.
politics don't play a role in every part of our lives, but the things that Mr. Girl talks about are directly about things that people experience. It's a lot further detached from like this internet world. It's sort of like he's bringing the real world up into the Twitch and YouTube social commentary space. And I don't know if that's why he's a
Yeah.
little bit more careful. And if we see a,
Maybe.
and I think that he's going. I think necessarily he's going to spawn more people like that maybe aren't as responsible. And do you think that that parasociality gets a lot weirder and a lot scarier as more people try to emulate what Mr. Grill is doing?
So I don't think there's a bit here. There's a bit for me to touch here. So I don't think Mr. Girl's the first person to try to do what he's doing. Right? I think he's just the first, maybe kind, talented, and like a good person. In my opinion, a good person who's doing what he's doing. If I remember correctly, there are a lot of bad people who wanted to come out on platform and fucking advocate for understanding pedophiles and like take it a step further to like enable pedophilia. Um,
We talking about Amos Yee?
yeah, absolutely. Okay. And not just him. Okay. There's other weird people who have said stuff about like lolly porn and stuff. I think that was Vosh. But um yeah, so I don't know if he is responsible for if like terrible people come after him because I think he has made like a genuine effort and an acknowledgement of like the horrors that can ensue, which I think is just taking the first reasonable step. And I think the only thing you can actually do is be aware of the terrible things that can happen
Mm-hmm.
and just be prepared because who the fuck knows what's actually going to happen. I take it very similarly to like being poly, where a lot of people want to be like, "Hey, can I be poly? Is it something me and my partner can do? How is it working for you?" And I just tell them like, "No, you can't. You can't compare it to me. I don't even know how it's gonna work for me. When I have a new partner, I don't know how it's gonna work then. Every fucking person is different. That's basically what being poly is. It's just like I'm on guard. I'm pretty sure this is a set of rules that will keep me stable and keep my relationships stable. But really, anytime you add a new fucking person to the ring, like the formula fucking changes. With every new viewer he gets, the formula changes. With every new video he puts up, the formula fucking changes. So just being aware, being prepared, and not having too much of an ego or having people around you that will not allow you to have an ego. I think that's all he can do. And I think he's good for that right now.
Yeah, I think that he is too, but I think that I guess the thing that I was trying to hit at is that I think he's
Mhm.
pretty responsible at how he addresses it. And I think he does the best that he can to try to limit parasociality in as much as you really can. But if somebody's doing the same
Okay.
kind of like very human things, well, like I think that
Mhm.
there's a pretty big gap in it. Like I think there's a very small window of how much you can actually do to combat it.
Yeah, so I don't
And I
think there's
think that he's
such thing
trying.
as being a successful streamer without having a a parasocial chat.
Correct. I do too. I just think that by acknowledging it and talking about it and kind of like keeping those good boundaries like he does, like the
Yeah.
only
Mhm.
inbox, like open inboxes and things like that. There's a lot of
Mhm.
steps that can only do so much, but he pads it up as much as I think that he knows how to. But if we have more
Yeah.
streamers that are, and not necessarily like the pedophilia thing, but just bringing more things that make you feel like a regular person who just happens to have this voice who is also very interesting rather than like I'm a newscaster kind of deal. Like
Or
rather than being like a
presenting
pundit.
yourself as if you are like the priest at a church or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think he does a really good job of that.
Okay. So yeah, I think it just worries me that when people try to emulate that, they may not take as many steps because it's more lucrative if you don't put that padding down.
The hard part is there are people who don't have the same conversations as he has, but have already taken like the terrible step. The step where they are um not dictators or authoritarians, but they present what the facts are to you. And they tell you like what reality is, and it doesn't match reality, but it doesn't matter to them because they just want you on their side. I think a good example of this would be like Pause, known as Infrared. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah,
he's
yeah.
even on Twitch or YouTube anymore. Whatever the fuck he is, he does not give one fuck to tell people the truth about anything. He just wants you to be another like brainless fucking um soldier in whatever the fuck he wants to do for Russia, for China. I don't know which one at this point.
I was just
But
waiting for you to say
like
communist.
yeah, I don't even know if it's communism, whatever. Um
I think that's
I
what
think
he
he
said.
just yeah,
Go
well
ahead.
what people say that they are, it doesn't always match what they like go set out to be, like
True.
set out to actually do themselves. That might be something that he tells people to collect like a communist audience. I don't know.
That's fair. That's
But
super
those
fair.
people exist already. Those people exist, and we have people who like to debate and stuff to kind of shut them down. And I think if one of them comes out of Max's community, he would probably be a real early person to jump on and shut them down if he felt like it was going that way. And I think it would be very fun for him.
Yeah, I think he'd like to tie off those loose ends himself. I would imagine anyway.
Hmm.
And I agree. I think that would be really fun to see. What did you think about the doll review?
Ooh, I only caught some of it.
Oh, still?
Yeah, okay. I can't just be sitting here watching Mr. Girl porn. All right.
Sorry, I just mean the I when I say the doll review, um, I typically think of like the safe for YouTube, like last portion.
Yeah. Okay, well I've seen that.
Okay,
Um I have seen Max's dick. I'm not
we all have.
pretending I haven't. Yeah. I just gotta see what's happening there. I just like to see what my friends are packing. But I did see the rest of the video. Um it was a video.
Do you do you
What's
think
the
that
question?
do you think that there was an appropriate amount of backlash for it, or do you think that the well,
Um
sorry, do you know kind of how things went right after that? There was like a big, like the big backlash, and then he worked really hard to try to get people to understand what was actually happening there from his
yes.
perspective. Do you think that
I
was all
think
like an appropriate response?
I'm gonna be a terrible fucking citrus right now because I understand everybody's concerns. Okay.
Hmm.
First of all, I understood Shaylin's concerns in that video. Just the questions, just needing to know more information. What the fuck am I getting into? Like, I love you, I want to try things with you, but can we answer more stuff for me? Kind of shit. I understood that, and I understood need to walk away and let out the way that you know how to let out. And I understood him being frustrated, wanting to ask questions. In a sense, which is fucking ironic, given his fucking Tinder story, he's looking for enthusiastic consent. He didn't care about that shit before. It was hot without it when it was the fucking Tinder situation, but now my boy's all about enthusiastic consent. Love that for him. Um, I understand people looking at the situation thinking, is he being abusive? Is he being fucked up to her? Um, just not really knowing. And then looking at it and being like, is she being a manipulative woman? Why is she crying so loud in the other? I don't know. I understand where everybody's coming from. Um, the only problem I have is people really staking down in one of those and being like, yep, this is the one. She was a manipulative woman, or this is the one. He is full of fucking shit. Like, you just don't know. You don't know. We we often get so fucking frustrated when we let like the court of public opinion crucify somebody or jump to fucking conclusions. We hate when that shit happens. And like there's no reason for it to happen. No reason. Not in this community. Not the fucking we're like the left woke community. But
Yeah.
at this point we're kind of the cancel culture community. I think it's okay to say, hey, I didn't like this video. Hey, this is weird. I don't know what's going on. I don't like this. Just say those things and leave it up in the air and wait till we find out more. Leave it open ended. But no, people just want to be able to like write the ending of the book right then and there. They're just so fucking impatient. Dumbasses. They act like they want content forever, but really they want to close the book on every fucking chapter as soon as they can.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love you, chat.
I I think the I actually I'm finally so before he did his long stream about like breaking down the video and going through and like reinforcing his stances and saying what he thought was going on, I was supposed to have a friend of mine who her job I think still is I haven't talked to her in about a month now, but I assume her job is still she gives presentations on consent. And I did a video with her about consent, I want to say like 2 years ago. And prior to that, she was like a first responder for the college for women that had been abused and broadly, not just like sexually. And I sent her the video and she was really excited to talk to me about it. But she had some stuff going on in her personal life that interfered with her talking to me about it. And I'm going to talk to her about that, the doll review soon. But I
Oh,
think
nice.
then, yeah, thank you. And she told me that it really challenged a lot of ideas that she had about power dynamics and abuse. And I get to talk to her about it soon. And I think before going into that, where I stood on it or stand on it now, and like I have at least until talking to her, because I very much value her opinion because I know she's honest, is that I think that nobody was doing anything super wrong. I do think that there's some things on, um, I do think that some of the ways that Shaylin reacted would be like very lightly on the edge of abusive, depending on their intentions behind it. But I think that a lot of people interpret him just being a dick is abusive somehow. Like, I think it's okay to be a dick when you're frustrated. I don't think it makes you abusive. I think you can be frustrated and say
Mm.
things that aren't nice. And I don't think that he was
So,
particularly nice, but I think that's okay.
so I wouldn't even go as far as where you're going, where to even say maybe Shaylin was abusive or he was just being a dick. Um, I like that you keep the maybe in there. But for me personally,
They're
I
real
can't.
people.
I like. I can understand getting those vibes. I can understand being like, "Oof, yikes." Um, but like, I draw the line at this is a fucking edited video. Like, I have no fucking idea if they are playing all of us. Like, I don't know anything. Um, I don't know if her crying, if there was like a boom mic in that other room. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
Um, I always approach Mr. Girl's content as though what you see is what you get. But so that's another one of my stock questions that I want to hear what everybody has to say about. So, do you think that he's playing a character? And
I think he's playing a character. I
a-
think
a-
unwillingly.
so yeah, I was about to clarify to a higher degree that like when I go to work, I'm playing a different version of myself. When I come home to my wife, I'm playing a different version of
Yeah.
myself. It's all honest and it's all really me and it's all how I would normally react. Just sometimes when you're in a different situation, it brings out different
Mhm.
elements of you a little bit stronger. So aside from that, do you think like Max Carson gets on camera and plays Mr. Girl, a fictional character that he created, as a lot of people seem to think or accuse him of?
I'm I'm still gonna play this one a little bit harder, or like
Sure.
answer this a little bit more sneaky. I think he is a character right now, but like unknowing to himself. I blame content creation and I blame his fans who have grown to admire like this one aspect of the person that he is. We are so complicated as humans. We often have multiple things that we enjoy and that we dive into. Um, we're complex human beings. Our emotions are here. Sometimes our empathy is here. Sometimes our stubbornness is here. And I think at every given point, people are always looking for Mr. Girl. And I just think he's a lot more than that, but I think he always has to resort to Mr. Girl for content creation and for his growth.
You give a lot of very interesting answers that nobody else does. And I think
I'm Mr. Girl expert, so.
well, good. The when I initially set out to do this project, it was just going to be about how I feel about Mr. Girl. But
Hmm.
as I really sat with that and thought about it a lot, I decided that I kind of wanted to know more about what other people thought about Mr. Girl because I
I
know
think
I'm
it's
going
a
to see
really cool
things
idea.
through rose-colored glasses to a degree because I'm a fan and I want to talk to people that
Hmm.
like him. I want to talk to people that admire him. I want to talk to people that viscerally hate him. I want to kind of put all these ideas together and see how that ends up shaping how I feel because I think I'm pretty open-minded. And then I want to put that together into like I want to present the things that stuck out the most to me, and everybody can see it. And hopefully, at the end of this, I'll have a good picture for people that don't understand why people are fans of Mr. Girl. They'll see the reasons why people would be upset at people for supporting him, and then see why we stick around anyway. See why the things that we think that justify the kinds of conversations that happen. See why we think that those conversations aren't as bad as they think they are. I think that's how it's going to turn out. I haven't seen anything that's struck me differently yet. And I think
I hope
that
so.
I'm pretty confident in it. He told me that he thinks that by the end of this, I am going to learn that I secretly hate him. To which I promptly responded, "Fuck you. I still love you as much as when I started this, and he can't stop me."
Become the anti-fan.
What's that?
Become the anti-fan.
I
Seek
don't
out to
want to.
understand him just to destroy him.
Oh, damn. Well, I couldn't take on the moniker Mrs. Boy because Shaylin already has that, so I wouldn't be a very good.
Hmm.
I wouldn't become a very good anti Mr. Girl. He's already got that one figured out ahead of time and cut that off. My good marketing.
You could be Madam Junior. It's like the opposite.
That sounds like a political title gained through marriage.
It sounds like the next person President Sunday is going to fucking debate. I don't know if you saw that one with Erudite. That was pretty good.
No, I actually just saw him uh, when he talked to Max. Because when I talked to Erudite, she said you
Oh,
should really talk to President Sunday. And I was like, I keep hearing about him, but I've been so busy I haven't been able to catch anything. I want.
he's off.
I can't. Oh yeah, I can't say what my roommate called him on first glance because we're on Twitch. But yeah, you could say that I was talking about what was happening, and he goes, "Is he
Mhm.
the the one who seems like they have something off there?" And I just cracked up, like, "Yeah, that's President Sunday." I actually thought that he talks really weird, but I think that he has a good way of asking questions to get to the heart of what he wants to know very well. From that one interrogation that I saw, it seems like he knows exactly what he wants to know, and he knows how to say it in a way that makes you give him that information very well if you answer. I thought that
Maybe
was interesting.
I'm not at a place where I want to say anything positive about him.
I don't know if that's necessarily positive. I don't know if that's a good way to communicate with people or not.
It sounds way more positive than I'm willing to co-sign for
Uh,
him at this
but,
point.
but to be fair, like I said, I only saw the one thing ever.
Yeah.
I did reach out to him. I don't know how well I'd be able to navigate that, but if I do, it would definitely be interesting to hear somebody who has such strong criticisms about Mr. Girl. I have a hard time finding people who
Mhm.
don't like him to talk to me, and if they do, it's usually
Mm.
um, like pretty insubstantial, like just like, oh, I think he's a pedophile or he's normalizing pedophilia,
Yes.
which
So here's the problem. You're going to need to jump into the look into Prime Kai, some of the people who go on his panels. You have to search for people who don't have anything to lose. Mr. Girl is buddy buddy with some like um bigger streamers and stuff like that, and even Vosh like won't dare have like another conversation with him because he doesn't um
that's because he fucking
he
lost.
just want to look like shit. Yeah, he looked
Yeah.
like shit the first time. He doesn't want to look like shit again. Um or like expose himself in that direction. He'll say it's because ooh, edgy content, but okay, horse cock. Not buying it. So I think a lot of people who genuinely don't like him and behind the scenes will be in their little fucking DM groups and say terrible shit about him probably and be like, "Oh, why is this person still on this stream blah blah blah." Talk all their fucking shit. They will get on another person's stream or they'll talk to another person interviewing them and be like, "I think he's really interesting." Like they'll talk to you like that. You gotta find someone with nothing to lose. Somebody who pick fights and says what they mean, like with their whole chest. Those people don't have a very big audience, but they are sincere and genuine in their criticism.
That's really smart. I actually I
Mhm.
took a note on that. Hmm.
Some of the people who fight on Twitter, they get into Discord, they get on video, they got smaller streams and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with being a smaller streamer, but a lot of times you get bigger by networking and by having friends. And if you start streaming and all you want to do is talk shit about people, it's really hard to grow. But some of them have really decent things to say. So it sucks when they get stuck down there.
Yeah. I think that when I first saw Mr. Girl taking off, I was worried that he wouldn't get very far because of some of the things that he said. I thought he'd get shut down real fast, and it would be one of
Yeah.
those situations because I was hungry for new content. I'm really glad that things worked out the way that they did because of it. Because
Mm.
it was really hard to tell. Did you think he was going to be successful, or well, you didn't find out till after he already sort of got uh like catapulted up from talking to Destiny, right?
No. I didn't find out about him until Destiny talked to him. That's when I started like looking into him, doing my own lore. But I did think that he was going to be a successful live streamer. Um, and I think he's continued that. I don't know. He doesn't do very much like scripted videos anymore, but I think he will be widely successful with both of those.
Did you see the new one where he like it was
Well, I
his
guess
new
the real
consent
doll
video?
review is scripted. His no, I haven't seen a new consent video. I don't think.
It was phenomenal. I thought it was one of the most adequate, well put together, um, and it's basically like a PSA. I think that they should show that in high
Nope, I
schools.
did. I did watch it. I did watch it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because usually I'm used to like the Mr. Girl story time with like an artistic flair to it, but that one was like I was like, this is just good. This is like I you could
Wait,
take
was
out
this
all the
the one
artsy
about?
elements. He was making a
Was this the
pizza
one
during
about
it.
the guys saying right? He fucked up that pineapple pizza. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. It was that one.
Hmm.
I just thought it was like you can take everything that was like artistic about it and put it aside and be like, this is just good for everybody to see. Everybody should think about the things that are in this because I think that it would help less people get assaulted or feel like they were assaulted if people
Hmm.
understood the things that were being said here. And
Yeah.
I love a ton of his videos. But if there was any of them that I was going to go up and give him a handshake and say, I think that you did a lot of good for a lot of people with just this, it would be that video. It was I just like non-debatably a good thing to do. And I
Mhm.
think that nobody wants to say that. And it's kind of a scary spot to put
No, they
yourself
don't.
in.
They're waiting for him to turn out to be Amos Yee. So it's really easy to like stand back and be like, mm-mm, that's gonna be a car crash. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna get into that car, you know? Um, like there's no real losing because if he ends up like being successful, the only thing that fails is like you were a fake fan. You didn't really support him, you were just a fucking hater. But if you if you co-sign somebody, if you believe in them, if you support them, if you elevate them, and then they become like an AMOC, then it's almost like, look what you did. But I also don't think anyone could be responsible for AMOC, but AMOC. Um,
True.
and I think those people, if the people who do sit on the sidelines like a Vosh and think like, oh, this is a car that's about to crash any day now. Um, if if people like that had the foresight to see like or to even just believe in his talent or to see that he's going to make it, they would be on board right now. No questions asked. They wouldn't care about like the few controversies or whatever, the difficult conversations, things being a little bit dramatic, or what's the word if you make it like more interesting? Not not
Um,
controversial.
I know what you mean too.
I'm losing words
Like
right now.
if they
But
embellish it.
yeah, maybe embellish. When he just makes the situation a lot hotter than it needs to be. They would be 100% okay with that if they knew it was going to pay off. But they're not willing to
Sure.
take that risk. They don't really believe in him. But like that's where they are mentally, and that's like how spineless they are. I don't know. It's very disappointing to see all of us as creators trying to make it, but a really big handful are just envious and really rooting for so many people to fucking fail.
Yeah, because then they get to make a video about it too. And be like, well, I
Mhm.
never even supported that person.
And they can be like, I told you so. I hung up on that conversation.
Yeah, you.
Really
I
fucking
could see. I
ridiculous.
could see Vaush saying right now, and you all thought that I was spineless when I didn't want to platform him and left the call.
Yeah.
Just yeah, using the downfall. Oh my god, could you imagine if I put out my final video project and everybody was like, "Oh wow, I see Mr. Girl in a really positive light," and then like the next day, like a bunch of allegations came out. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I wouldn't
No,
leave my house for a week.
no, but if it did happen, like, how were you supposed to know something like that? Like,
I I
was
I wouldn't
behind the
feel
curtain.
responsible. I would just
I,
I feel like a lot of people would try to hold me
they would
responsible.
try, but I think that's such a stupid thing to do to feel confident about by like, just blindly guessing whether someone's going to be a failure or a terrible person or not. And you
Yeah.
could say it's like, oh, I read all of the signs. Look at the things that they said, but I don't know. I wouldn't jump to those conclusions based off his words. So it just seems too much of a reach for me.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm really glad that a lot of people did look past all that shit and not so much endorse, but at least agree to give him a spot on their platforms. He had a lot of early
Yeah.
panels and like even you just like going on and making some content with him because I think that helped a lot in
Hmm.
terms of people being able to see who he was without just hearing what other people were saying about him.
Yeah.
I think Destiny gets like almost all of the credit all the time, but I mean,
Probably.
he certainly lifted him up, like he like Simba lifted him in the air for everybody to see. But I
Yeah, but
think
I was
that
a lot more attractive when I lifted him up, so I win in that regard.
um, I didn't expect that. I think that um, his ability to get people to do that is on him. I think his ability to get Destiny to talk to him, I think gets overshadowed a lot. And the people that continued to
Yeah.
have them on afterwards, that was a really big deal.
Like you'll even hear Destiny say it. Max is successful because of him.
Yeah.
I can give somebody a fucking platform. I can have them on. I can talk to them. I can watch their content. But whether or not they take that and make it into something is them. And you can't even say that Max made it into something after Destiny because before Destiny, he had the content, he had the production, he was doing shit.
Yeah, like Destiny was the marketing company that
He
like
was just the
decided to pick
eyes,
it up.
really. That's it. Just eyes. Max markets himself too.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know the right way to say it. I think you said it better than me,
Yeah, I
to
know
be
what you
perfectly
mean. I know
honest.
what you mean. I'm just
Um
being combative.
um yeah, I think that he eventually would have been pretty successful. It just would have taken him a lot
Mhm.
longer. Um but I don't know that he could have sorry, I think he would have gotten that spike of viewership, but if it wasn't for all the smaller not smaller, like I mean not just Destiny, but everybody that sort of opened the door for him
Mhm.
after that gave him a
Yeah,
chance to have the
allowed him to
voice.
have more conversations because as much as you can talk to Destiny, you got kind of have to have other conversations as well.
Yeah, because the Destiny conversations aren't really that interpersonal.
Hmm.
They're interesting for what they are, but when like Stardust had him on, and then you had him on, and who are the other people that did the one on ones?
I
I
think
can't remember.
Wicked Supreme.
Yeah, Wicked had him on. That was that was a really interesting one, and he talked to book smarts, and it just sort of gave us a
Yeah, that
much
one
fuller
sucked.
picture. There was quite a few rough ones in the beginning with like when we were really dug deep down into the meta conversations. I love meta conversation because I'm a fucking nerd. But
Oh my God.
yeah, like I'm like fall like during all those meta conversations where the chat's just like, what are you even talking about? Stop it. Get back on subject. I'm like, I'm tracking all of this and this is fucking great. I love this. This is like arguing about arguing. I'm here for it. But all the people that sort of like open that door and let us see the person. And I think that the people that didn't, they fucked up. I think that
Mhm.
Vouch fucked up because Mr. Girl is he's good content. One of the things that really blows my mind about Max is that there's almost nobody that can put out a video as regularly as he does that shakes the entire Twitch and YouTube politics sphere like him. How many times in the last like 7 months did he put out a video that nobody could shut the fuck up about for like an entire week straight? That's crazy.
Yeah, he does really good.
And I don't know if that contributes to the amount of hate that he gets from other creators. Like I there's sort of an attitude among some of them to say like if you talk to him, I won't talk to you too. Like I watched Demon Mama's Psycho rant about it after she watched a video about him, and
Well,
oh god, I don't like
here's
her.
here's the problem.
Yeah,
Max is Max is doing and being what a lot of people like to set themselves out to be. Someone who's willing to talk about difficult subjects with an open mind and like just just really explore and be honest and really be empathetic and open to understanding like all sides. People always present themselves in this way, especially in politics, but they face a line where they're like, I need to monetize and like consistently, I need to rub shoulders with the right people. I need to grow. I need to not be too controversial because it puts me in a box and it makes certain people not want to talk to me. And instead of trying to break free from that, that almost like puts all of us in handcuffs, um, the bigger that they get, the more that they play into it. So when you are a larger creator like Destiny, you're supposed to be able to take these risks. You are supposed to feel that sort of freedom to do the content that you want to do. But you'll so often see like Hassan's a good example of this. If you're a lefty and you want to talk um about these issues in an open and honest way, he has like closed the fucking door. He doesn't just talk about anything and it turns away from like what it started as, like trying to help people have these conversations, progress things, move society forward in whatever weird way that we all think that we can do via the internet. And it turns more into how do I stay famous? How do I stay rich? How do I stay on top? Um,
yeah,
I think looking at someone like Max, I don't know if he's going to hit that wall where eventually he realizes he needs to make stable income doing this. I hope he never finds a wall there. But I think a lot of people that don't want to talk to him, a lot of people who reject him, I think they hit that wall or they like live at that wall. I don't know. It's frustrating to see.
yeah, I think so too. I think that my favorite people on in these spaces do what they like doing because they like doing it.
Mhm.
Somebody, it might have been Erudite, said that like you could take away everything from Destiny and he'd still just be in Discords arguing with people one on one with
Yeah.
nobody watching because that's just what he wants to do. And so
Yep.
I think that even if Max didn't have a channel, he'd still be having these conversations with people that he bumped into. And I
Yeah, I
think
agree. And for people who started off trying to be like that, it's gotta suck looking down and seeing him be successful and continue to be successful doing so, because they were too much of a coward to like hard pursue that. They should be ashamed.
Yeah, I hope he has enough petty in his bones to enjoy watching them squirm when he does
Mhm.
good though, because he deserves
Yeah,
that.
he does.
There's not a lot of I'm not a super petty guy, but that's one of the things that I really indulge in when I do something really well and people wanted to see me fail.
Oh, I'm petty.
I'm not entirely surprised to hear you say that. Not even in
Yeah,
a negative way. It just seems like it seems like you would thrive in that.
I do.
You got that energy.
Okay. Are
Um,
we wrapping this up soon
I
or?
was just about to say I don't have anything off the top of my head. Um, if if anybody if anybody in my chat, I don't know if I know I have a couple of your fans that said they were gonna watch. Wanted to ask anything about how you feel about Max or just to you. Uh, then now would be the time. Otherwise, yeah, is there anything that you think that should be included in my video about Max?
Ooh. I don't know how to include it, but I love to include the fact that this is just one little interaction between the two of us.
Mhm.
I I like told my stream, and I think Max was watching or something. I forget how he knew that I said this. Um, I told him that I told the stream that I prefer for him to shave his beard. I think it looks more attractive with a shaved beard. Um, and he told me no. He told me I'm objectifying him. And if he had told me I prefer you with with makeup, that I would freak the fuck out. Um, I always love that interaction. And like the funny part is a lot of people will feel bad. And I feel bad. I'm so sorry I objectified you. But also it's not the same. So you do look better with your beard shaved, so shave it.
I didn't. That was quite the twist at the end. I thought you were on board with what you're
Yeah.
saying. Um, yeah,
But I
I don't know.
that's it's something that I don't really understand. And I think I'll accept that I don't understand it and that I'm probably gonna be a little resistant to like effectively caring because I don't find asking someone to shave a beard to be like that serious of a thing.
Mhm.
But I want to hear more about that. And I want to hear from other people that aren't Max that feel some type of way about that. I know there are men who are insecure about not being able to grow a beard or it coming in patchy. I had no idea that people don't like having to maintain their beard. I don't know. I
Uh,
want to hear more men's beard problems.
I am so open to suggestion to people about like I don't know what to do with any of this. I don't know how. I just started reading how
You
to
don't
dress
add
better.
this, but just you know how to antagonize him now if you need to. Okay.
I am very well aware that he does not like comments about his body. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that. Yeah, I just don't understand. If somebody told me that my shoes look bad, I would be like, please tell me what shoes to wear. I don't fucking know. If somebody said you need to shave your beard
Right?
and then trim up your mustache, I'd be like, how? How do I do that? Please inform me, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing my best.
Mhm.
I read some articles last month. I'm trying stuff out. Well,
Nice.
thank you very, very much. I appreciate your time, especially being on vacation. Um,
Hey, thank you for
it
having
means a
me.
lot.
I'm happy to do this.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And oh, especially thanks for rescheduling to when you could get on video. Uh,
Yeah.
you didn't have to do that either. And I will do my
Okay.
best to put the clips of you from this in my video that catches your good side.
Thank you. Please. Okay.
Yeah,
You can DM me the screenshot to make sure it's my good side. All right. This is important.
you got it.
Okay. Bye. Thank you so much for the interview. Blah. Bye.
Bye. That was pretty cool.